night. There are still some available, but it's gone extremely well. So there's going to be a great atmosphere for the fans watching on BT Sport on Saturday night, as well as those who pay their money to get along there and watch live. So hopefully we've got some terrific sporting entertainment to look forward to. Now, top of the bill is the two guys who are alongside me, the British super featherweight title, which is Sam Bowen and Jordan McCorry, and we'll be looking ahead to that one in a little bit more detail in a moment or two. But let's first of all look at one which I think is probably getting as much attention round here as anything. It's the Battle of Leicester, as Frank Warren called it, which is CJ Challenger, who's down here to my far left, and Kyle Hayward. CJ from Leicester, Kyle from Earl Shilton, both of them undefeated. So in the old boxing cliche, somebody's O has got to go. And it's going to be, I'm sure, an extremely entertaining fight because both guys really believe that they're going to win this one. Let's start off with you. I mean, as local lads, just talking a little bit about, first of all, about the buzz in the city now about boxing, Carl.
Yeah, everyone's going mad for it. When the fight was announced, my Facebook, my Instagram, everything, all inundated with messages, wanting tickets. It's not been a struggle to sell at all. So, yeah, it's a proper 50-50 fight that people can get stuck into. It's going to be brilliant for the fans of Leicester. And
what would you expect? 300-400 maybe cheering you on, or would it be more than that?
Yeah, or even more, mate, yeah.
So that's going to be a special atmosphere, I'm sure. And CJ, what about you from your perspective, you know, sort of representing the city? You're a Leicester lad through and through. He's an old Shilton boy, just down the road. Great Leicester derby.
It's, you know what? It's to be honest, it's an honour to be in a fight like this and on a platform like this. It's just nothing but exciting.
Kyle, tell us first of all your perspective of CJ, because you've known each other for a long time, though never shared a ring together.
Yeah, never sparred, never boxed in the amateurs, but I know he's a good fighter. He's tall, ranger, he's a good mover, he's got good skills, so it's up to me to close him down and get my work off.
What sort of a fight do you think it's going to be? How do you make it your fight?
Close that gap and operate at my pace. This is why it's going to be such an exciting fight, because it's two 50-50 unbeaten prospects that, you know, we're going to put up a good fight, and it's a good clash of styles as well, I think.
Do you like each other, or are you going to be snarling? Is there going to be a little bit of animosity?
There's no animosity between me and CJ, but he's standing in the way of where I want to be, and that's just how it is. So it's just business, you know.
And this is a title at stake. It's the Midlands area super welterweight title. I was talking to some of the lads earlier on and talking about, you know, people who really follow boxing. Sometimes the big hyped fights don't actually provide the real entertainment that British title fights and area title fights do. Sometimes these can turn out to be the fights of the night, can't they?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be, to be honest. I think it's going to be a great fight.
CJ, you've watched him over the years. You've heard what he thinks of you. What do you reckon?
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. Obviously, he's no mug. He's gonna come to play. So it's what you expect when you get in a boxing ring. I don't know anyone that gets in a boxing ring and expects the person in front of them to fall over. So you know, it's normal business. Every opponent's the same.
What about your form going into this? Scott James, a win last time out, and how's the preparations been going?
The preparation's been amazing. If we're talking about my career, every fight's been progressive. So every step that we've took has been a forward step. So yeah, I think that's key, and we'll continue to keep stepping forwards.
Hudge was telling me that Chris Pyatt, who is a great Leicester world champion of a while back, he's been back in the gym and back helping you.
Yeah, you know, it's good. Like, you know, it brings up like all round morale. It's also like to have the knowledge available on hand is second to none. It's great. So there's always things that you'd hear from someone, but then when you hear from someone who's been there, who's done it, and you know they've got the credibility, it kind of sometimes it resonates a little bit deeper, you know. So it's good.
And it's lovely to hear Chris back involved. I
definitely.
hear he's got his enthusiasm back.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, he's definitely got his bite back.
Kyle, when you've given up your job, haven't you? You've gone full time to prepare now.
Yeah, like I said, when I found out about this fight, it was a no-brainer, really. I was living two lives. You know, I had a full-time job and I was training full-time.
What were you doing?
Bench joiner, so carpentry, woodwork. But yeah, like for the 2 years I've been a professional, I've worked full-time, and I could feel it in my fights, and that's okay when you're doing 6, 4, 6, 8 rounds. But when you're stepping up like this, I wanted to take it serious, and I wanted to give it everything I've got.
So we heard about Kyle's preparations and working with Chris Pyatt. Tell us about how you guys have been getting ready for this and how you feel as you're going into it.
Yeah, I feel brilliant. It's been the best camp to date. It's had its ups and downs, but we've been working on new things, doing new methods of training. I've spent a lot more time with Carl, so he's been able to like teach me a lot more, and like the sessions that I've been doing in the daytime, because I was travelling after work, and it was sort of like trying to cram it all in and do my road work in the mornings, whereas now I've got the whole day, every day to do it. So obviously these guys that are already here probably already know, but for me it's new, and I've absolutely loved it.
Do you feel that you're a more complete and better prepared
100%.
for it?
Yeah, 100%. This fight, you're going to see the best Carl Haywood, and that's a fact. So.
Well, I don't know if any of the local bookies are actually mentioning odds for this one, but to my way of looking at it, it really is a pick 'em fight. It's going to be a tremendous fight. Both of them undefeated. Somebody is going to have to taste defeat for the first time, but I think, you know, it's probably going to be the sort of contest where whoever does lose this one, it's not in any sense going to be an end. It's going to be just a setback and a chance to, you know, there'll be the chance to move on thereafter. But you won't be thinking of that, CJ.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. It's not a thought in my mind. But it's true what you say though. I don't really know one great or many greats that haven't suffered a loss. So that kind of part of it is irrelevant to me. But yeah, like I said, there's no doubt of it in my mind.
Well, it's dead true. Some of the finest fighters of all time. You know, look at Bernard Hopkins. Look at Marvin Hagler. They had defeats early in their careers, and look what they went on to do. And alongside you, Leon Woodstock, who's coming back from his defeat against Archie Sharp, which was a big setback. But you've got your hunger back, and you're ready to go again, Leon.
I don't think it was a big setback. I think it was a big opportunity to level up, because I'm a firm believer in the fact of, like, people that get challenged and make mistakes in life are the type of people that progress further through life with their character. And in this sport, when it really boils right down to it, it's very little to do with your skill, how hard you hit, where you come from, this, that and the other. It boils right down to your character and who you are and what you stand for. And what I went through with my fight with Archie has pushed me towards that growth level so much more than had I took the win. Do you get what I'm saying?
Was it a reality check? Do you look at it and you sort of think, right, this is what's gone wrong, let's take a look at where we're at?
Sort of. It wasn't really a reality check. It just kind of made me think on certain things a bit different and approach certain things in a different type of way, if that makes sense. So it's like things that I already knew before. So it's not really reality checks I already knew, but it's you hone in on these things because it's the little things.
So can you come back? I mean, we presumably got to believe you're going to come back and build from it and become a whole lot better fighter.
Oh, of course, 100%. Like I said, the opportunity to actually go through them moments there to be able to allow my character to build and grow was massive. You can't put a price on them moments there. And if I could create a time machine right now, I would not change nothing at all because, like I said, you can't put a price on it.
you've got an 8-rounder against a Spanish lad, Sergio Gonzalez, who I must confess I've not seen. Have you seen anything of it?
That is news to me. So I don't know if it's 6 or 8. It doesn't really matter because I got told 6. But if it's 8, we're doing 8. We're doing 8, guys.
If you could look into that crystal ball and look at the end of the year, or maybe a year from now, and where you'd want to be, where would that be? Would you be looking to fight the likes of these guys?
I will not fixate on not one person. I'm not bothered. All I have is the goals in my head. I want the British title. Whether Sam has it, whether Jordan beats him and he gets it, whether it gets vacated, I don't care. I just want the British title.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to seeing you back in the ring again. I should imagine that's something that you're very much looking forward to, getting out in front of your Leicester public.
100%. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Well, he's very much a star of the Leicester boxing world. And coming down from Liverpool alongside him, Sam Maxwell, who's part of the MTK operation. And Sam's going to be fighting Sabri Sadiri, undefeated fighter from France. It's going to be for the vacant WBO European Super Lightweight title. And Sam, undefeated in 10 fights. If you've not seen him, he's been doing pretty much everything right so far after an illustrious amateur career. And this represents for you, Sam, a little bit of a step up.
Definitely. I've been asking for this for a while now, and Frank Warren and MTK have delivered, and they've gave me the chance to box for a title, and I'm ready for the challenge.
How happy are you with life as a professional? Because as I alluded to, you have this fantastic amateur record, and it's kind of been a burden of expectation. You know, people are thinking Sam is going to get right to the top. How's he going to get to it? Is that something which weighs heavily on you? I
think so, a little bit. You look at some of the peers from when I was on Team GB. They're like the superstars in the professionals now, and I've come from the same crop as them. So I look like I'm a lot further back than them. But so I expect a lot more of myself. I want to be where they are, recognise it like them. But I've waited patiently for my chance, and I'm getting it now. So I've got to take this chance I'm getting. So take it with both hands, and hopefully by the end of the year, I'll be more known to the public, and a lot more people interested in me, kind of thing.
You've been bowling people over, and you are heavy-handed, but you clearly got well-schooled boxing skills as well. Is this the sort of guy who's going to bring that out of you?
Definitely, I think so. I think with him being he boxed at high level as an amateur himself, from what I've researched, and he looks tricky as a pro. And I know anyone who comes from France anyway, normally in the professionals are a high standard. So I'm looking forward to be tested and looking forward to the challenge. And I think he'll definitely provide it, and people are going to get the chance to see the best of me, because I won't be able to just go in there and land every shot and land all my heavy shots. I'm going to have to work for it and set things up, and I'm looking forward to showing my ability.
I asked Leon, where, if you could have the crystal ball, where would you be in a year from now? Where would you like to be in a year from now? Because this title which you're getting here will guarantee you a high ranking, and if you win, it gets you right into contention for the big fights.
Definitely, I think it gets you a top 15, 12, 15 ranking in the world. So that's going to propel me massively into the big fights. And I'll be looking at names like Jack Catterall and O'Hara Davis, and I think the WBO champion is Hooker. So them kind of names that I'd love to be in the pile with them by the end of the year. That's my goal. But got to get through Saturday first. Training
up in Scotland. Still living with your mum on Merseyside. How's all that working out?
It's good, yeah. It's just I'm up there Monday to Friday most times, and for this camp I actually stayed there for 3 4 weeks at a time. But I'm normally up there Monday to Friday training hard, and then come home and just chill at home then. But I feel like I'm improving every day with Danny, and I'm quite self-critical. Like on my fights, I look back, and even then when I do pad work, like we did public workout yesterday, I'm thinking, I'm not liking what I'm seeing sometimes. But I think out of my 10 fights, my last fight, even though it only lasted 2 minutes or something, it was the only fight where I looking at it, I think I was doing everything right. I liked how I was boxing, and so that shows the progression, and I feel like I'm starting to be happy with how I'm boxing, how I'm looking in the ring, and I'm going to take it a level further on Saturday. Just before we move on to Nathan, I've got to mention one name which some people, he's kind of a bit of a Marmite character, and some people wince when they hear the name. But I can't talk about this division without raising his name. O'Hara Davis, would you fancy that? Definitely. I seen a video he posted a few days ago, and I wanted to hate him, I wanted to be angry at him and stuff like that. But to be honest, he was just his opinion of me wasn't that bad. He was saying I'm a class boxer. You know, I'd be a risk for him to fight because I'm not known to the public, and it's a big risk for him to take the fight, and I've got no title. So after Saturday, if I perform well, I win a title, and you know, people get to see me, they're interested in me, then he can't back out the fight, and it's a fight that definitely can be made. And
he'd be the sort of bloke who you'd call out, would you?
Definitely, and I've got the beating of him, definitely, and it's one I'm interested in.
It'll certainly be an interesting one, and maybe if you get the win you're looking for, it's going to push you closer to that. Yeah. Right, we'll move down to the big lug now. Nathan Gorman, undefeated heavyweight, and he's going to be up in action. Change of opponent. There've been a couple of names mentioned, and finally alighting, and I gather making his way across from the United States even as we speak. It's big Kevin Johnson you're going to be fighting. What's your thoughts about that, Nathan?
Yeah, obviously, Kevin, he's a late replacement. You know, I've had 4 days' notice for Kevin. You know, I was due to fight someone totally different than Molino, wherever his name was. You know, someone 6'2", 6'1", coming forward, big swinger. But Kevin's someone totally the opposite style, you know, sits back on the ropes, doesn't do much. But on the other hand, you know, if you look at Kevin's resume, he's been in there with most of them. He hasn't been stopped. He's only been stopped once or twice, I think. No, twice. Anthony Joshua, and then he got stopped by Peter Millas by a cut. And all the rest, you know, Vladimir Klitschko, Derek Chisora, Christian Anna, my good mate Daniel, went the distance with him. So he's another stepping stone, I'd imagine, on Saturday night. But, you know, full concentration on Saturday night. I'm just looking forward to getting there and doing the job.
Yeah, your good mate Daniel, that's Daniel Dubois. He went the full 10 rounds against Daniel, and Daniel, for all his much vaunted punching power, couldn't get him out of there.
No, you know, not just Daniel. A lot of them can't get him out there, can they? You know, he's probably the most durable heavyweight on the planet. But we shall see on Saturday night, shan't we?
Is that something that you're trying to add to your game with Ricky and the rest of your training team to actually, you know, you're obviously throwing bundles of punches and you've got huge boxing ability, but are they trying to actually fashion more power out of you? Yeah,
sit down with punches more, you know. That's what we've been working on in this camp, you know, for the past 6-7 weeks. Sit down with punches more, you know, search for the punch instead of, you know, flowing. Listen, I'm a boxer, you know, I'm going to still flow flurries and that, you know, it's my style, but I'm going to sit down with punch, you know, search for the opening, you know, instead of just going in, wailing and throwing in a lot of punches.
I think you'd be crazy. People would be crazy to think that you're going to lose this fight on Saturday. Although you can't afford to get careless.
No,
you know,
definitely.
In the heavyweight division, a big guy, and he's actually had a couple of wins, you know, since he fought Dubois.
Exactly. So, you know, listen, Kevin, big 18-stone man. If I switch off for 1 second, if he lands that big right hand on my chin, I'm sorry, it's good night. So I can't switch off, you know, for 1 second in that fight. I've got to be fully focused and fully ready for him.
I've got to ask the inevitable question. I mean, people have said to me here already, you know what's coming. How far away now from you and Daniel getting it on?
Truthfully, if it was down to me, I'd fight him this Saturday. If it was down to me, yeah, I'd fight him this Saturday. But I reckon end of the year something. It's all down to Frank. You know, I've answered this question 100 million times. You know.
Sorry.
No, it's all right, John. It's not your fault. Whenever he's ready. Truthfully, whenever he's ready.
He says he's going to knock you out. When it happens, he says you will go.
Well, yeah, time will tell. I've heard it all before.
What would you say to him? Because you can guarantee, I know you said you didn't watch the press conference which he was in, and people always say they don't watch, but word will get back. What would you say to Daniel?
What about him knocking me out? He'd have to catch me first, wouldn't he?
And what do you think, how would you beat him? If the fight happened, how would you beat him?
How will I beat him? My style, John, beats him 24/7. You know, if I can't beat someone who just throws a 1-2 hook, don't know, he's a big, powerful lad coming at you. But if I can't see a big 1-2 and a jab and a hook coming, I'm not really a gifted boxer, am I? Don't get me wrong. If he catches you, it's good night. But there again, if I catch him, it's also a good night. That's why a lot of people want to see it. It's the boxer versus the raw power.
And what about the keyboard warriors out there who say Nathan Gorman, yeah, he can box a bit, but he's too nice. He's not going to be a champion.
Time will tell, eh? Time will tell.
We will see.
Yep.
Nathan, victory against Kevin Johnson, and I guess if you could stop him, that really would be a huge bonus.
Yeah, definitely. If I can stop him, it sends out a message. He's probably, like I've said before, he's probably the most durable boxer in heavyweight division, isn't he? He's been in there with all of them, mixed it with the world's best. So if I can get a stoppage, I'm going in there to do what I do best, and that's box. If it comes, it comes. But as long as I'm impressing, and win, that's the main thing. And come out the ring healthy and unscathed. That's the main thing.
Well, we wish you well and look forward to seeing you in action once again. And so we turn our attention to the main event, which is the British Super Featherweight title. And our local man, Sam Bowen, defending his title here against Jason. Jordan, I beg your pardon. Get that right for a start. I do apologise. From Cambuslang up in Scotland, and a huge opportunity. He's a formidable guy, much talked about champion in front of his own crowd. What are your thoughts about this one, Jordan?
It's just a good opportunity to be a party into it, but for me, I don't know if it's just a wee bit of hype. Know what I mean? Like, he's not really fought anybody that good, to be fair, yet. So obviously we'll tell on Saturday what he's all about.
What you must have watched him. What do you think about him as a boxer?
Yeah, well, a very very good strong boxer for sure. But for me, at our weight, he's a avoided fighter. Like, nobody wants to fight him. Like, that's obviously why I get the opportunity into it with a month to go, and they've obviously offered me it. Like, Frank Warren's got a lot of boys at super featherweight, so try to tell me they never got offered it before me. But
you lost on points over in Switzerland last time out. You got a cut, didn't you?
I got a cut in the 11th round, but I only went over to Geneva and fought because I couldn't get a fight over here. So,
sorry, I beg your pardon. Could everybody turn their mobiles off, please? My apologies for that one. Go on, you were saying.
Well, I went over to Geneva and fought because I couldn't get a fight over here. So, but it was a good experience in that. It was a good boy. He's ranked in obviously top 40 in the world, so he's no mug.
Sam, appearing here in front of your own public, fighting here as a main event in Leicester. Tell us what that feels like.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to be able to say I'm fighting in Leicester, my hometown, where I'm from, for my first British defence. Very excited, and I can't wait to show everybody Saturday what I've got.
And there's a real buzz around Leicester in the boxing scene now, isn't there?
Yeah, like Harwood was saying, everyone's going mad for it. It's brilliant for me because it's literally on my doorstep. I ain't got to travel too far, and I've got a great vast amount of support coming. I work down the road from Leicester, so a lot of work people are coming to support me, my friends, my family. So no, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good buzz in there.
When are you going to be taking the decision to say, yeah, boxing's what I do, and forget about the rest of the work and just make it what you do 24/7?
I don't know. We'll have to discuss that after this one.
Have I touched a dodgy subject?
But like I say, I'll go get Saturday out of the way. Once Saturday's done, then we can start looking at that. But I'll just concentrate on the job in hand is to beat Jordan. So that's what I'm concentrating
on. And what are your thoughts about Jordan as a boxer?
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for him. Like I said, he's taken the fight. A lot of people didn't. It was hard to find an opponent. I've seen a few of his fights. Like I said, he's got a few different styles. He's come forward when he wants. He looks fit, and he's boxed a few good lads. So no, it's made for a good fight.
You're not going to be looking past him. You're not going to be underestimating him, are you?
No, like I say, I concentrate on every fight the same, regardless of the record. He's got a good record. He's had some good wins. I know what I've got to do to like I say, I've got to get the win, and I'll do what I'll do best to get that.
Jordan, did you know Alex Arthur was the last guy to have held this title from Scotland?
No, was he? Aye. No, I didn't know that.
He fought a bloke called Carl Greaves once upon a time.
Was that right? Aye.
Yeah, he did. Look, he's being all bashful about it. How about your preparations for this one? Because in the past, you've traded on aggression, but you kind of bring a little bit more nowadays.
Yeah, well, obviously, I used to be with Peter Harrison. I've trained changed trainer to Craig Dickinson, and Craig Dixon, sorry. But he's just instilled in me something different, like just kind of boxer mentality a wee bit, know what I mean? So before I was just in aggression, just wanted to go forward and stuff like that, but as you know, when you do the 12 rounds you can't fight like that all the time, so you need to try and adapt to it.
And what would it mean to you to actually take that British title back to Scotland back home?
Dynamite, it'd be brilliant. I'll need to do it, as I said yesterday, like if I'm going to do it, I'll do it the hard way down the Lions Den against obviously all the people for Leicester that Sam's bringing, so it'll be good.
Just on a slightly different subject, you're a Celtic fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a Celtic man.
You noticed he's got a Leicester shirt on.
I've not got a problem with Leicester. It's Brendan Rodgers I've got a problem with. He's a snake.
You've not forgiven him yet, then?
Nah, not at all. I won't forgive him. He could have done the treble, and he could have went down in history as one of the best managers for Celtic forever. But chose to leave us halfway during the season. It's a bit snaky, to be fair.
You know, Martin O'Neill cleared off from here and went up to your place.
Yeah, aye. But he's not left in the same way Rodgers left us. Know what I mean? Rodgers could have was like 15 games away for doing the treble, and he bottled it. He's went for money into it, so. Aye, poor.
Okay, well that's a few headlines for the local paper. If this goes 12 rounds, you've never been past 7 as a professional. What about going the 12-round distance?
Yeah, that's not a problem. I always train for so obviously if I've got a 10-round fight, I'll train for a 10-round fight to make sure I've got the fitness. I'm super fit. If it goes 12 rounds, it goes 12 rounds. As long as I'm winning those rounds, that's all that matters to me. But no, I'm not got any qualms about my fitness. I'm quite known for being a fit lad, so do well in sparring, regardless of how many rounds I do. So I'm not worried about this. If
you get through this okay, is getting the Lonsdale belt outright something that would be an ambition? In
hindsight, it'd be great to win outright, but it just depends how long that's going to take. I mean, I won this belt, the British belt, in April last year, so it's a year since. It will be pretty much a year, a few days short of a year. At this rate, it'll be 3 or 4 years down the line before I win outright. So it all depends on the route. It all depends on the fights, how often you can fight. Like I say, it'd be nice to say I won it outright, but like I say, it really does depend on what options and opportunities we get offered beforehand.
And you'll be wanting to show. On Saturday, you obviously defend your title. You'll be wanting to do that, but also maybe show that you're ready to move up to another level.
Yeah, like I say, I was supposed to box Zelfa Barrett for the English. That never happened. He withdrew and then boxed for the English against someone else. So I never got a chance to box for that. So I got made mandatory for the British. Won the British. Ideally, actually. Get back in track with what you're supposed to do rather than keep jumping. I mean, if they was to say in 6 months we'll offer you a world title shot, you'd be silly not to take it. But ideally, like European, go in the line of track you're supposed to. Really, maybe ideally European or something like that.
And lastly, final word for you before we open it up to people who are here today. A little message to your fans who've bought the tickets and how they can help raise you on Saturday night.
Yeah, well, if it just be the same as last time, basically, because it was a great atmosphere. It gave me all the support I needed to do what I needed to do, and afterwards, like I said, the place was going mad. More have bought tickets this time, so it'll be, if not better.
Okay, well, we look forward to seeing you guys in action come Saturday night. As I said, tickets are still available, and we'll be doing one-on-one interviews for anybody who wants them, and face-to-face photographs as well for your various publications, and also one-on-one interviews. So if there's any questions which you want to raise from the floor now, all the guys are here, so please sing them out. Anybody for anybody? Yes.
This is a message for Sam, Sam, if you're successful on Saturday, we're obviously seeing the Leicester derby in the centre and CJ. Would you like to see another Leicester derby and defend your title voluntarily against
When Ronnie Clark pulled out for this fight, it was 4 weeks before the February fight. Woodstock was offered that fight. Warren's team offered him that fight near on instant. They turned it down. I was reading the other day, apparently it was only 2 weeks' notice he got that message, but that is not the case. I've gone on about it a million times and it bores me. So the best, easiest way now to put it is, I'm happy to fight him whenever. So whenever Woodstock's ready, and if it could be 6 weeks, 6 months, 12 months, I'm not bothered. Just ring Carl and then we'll sort it. And then that gives him all the options to, whenever he wants it, he can have it. Because I think, for me personally, it'd be an easy earner. And it'd be great for Leicester, I suppose, wouldn't it?
So that's...
And it'll finish his career.
So that's there, yeah?
Pardon?
So you're not going to change your mind? You're not going to contradict yourself? Like, because before you say, no,
you got offered
this,
it.
that and the other...
Oh, so Warren's team telling us, Larsen. Okay, well, it's part of the team. All right. Well, you turned it down.
So that's what you're saying. You're basically saying you will fight me whenever you.
I was going to fight you in 2 days' time.
Bro, I would have fought you for free. I'm not bothered. I would have fought you in the amateurs. Do you not remember?
Sounds like
come on,
this is.
So you can't backtrack now. Everyone in here knows and heard you say I will fight Leon Woodstock whenever he wants it. Let's keep it at that.
I'm not going to.
Let's keep it at that.
I'm not going to participate in the recall of when you got beat by Archie Sharp. And you was doing this with Archie Sharp and it didn't get you the win. I know you're saying you wouldn't turn.
You've said what you've said and leave it at that.
I'm saying you was doing that as well.
Well,
I'm sure I got asked the question, but never mind.
It's all right, guys. Okay, fellas. It's. I think we've established that it's certainly one for the future. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, you did.
We can have the two trainers on the undercard. Any more questions? Any more questions from the floor?
CJ, do you feel a lot of pressure with the big Leicester bill to sort of perform on this stage? Because it's a big fight, isn't it?
No, not at all. It's the same, like I said before, it's the same as every fight. You take every opponent the same. And like I say, it's the amount of pressure that's on is the same as every performance. So it's just another day, it's another opponent, it's another step forward on the journey.
Any more? Any more for any more? Anything to say for yourself, Dev? No, head on. Carry on.
How excited are you to find a guy like Kevin Johnson?
Well, obviously excited, for Saturday. Kevin, he is what he is. He comes in. He knows his way around the ring. Before I know, he could come out swinging. I highly doubt it, mine. But I've just got to train for the best. Well, I've trained for the best within 4 days' notice of Kevin Johnson. So we'll see come Saturday night, won't we?
Any more for any more? Okay. Well, if we're all done, remember it's live on BT on Saturday night, and tickets, as I say, are still available. We'll do some press photographs first of all, and then everybody here is available for interviews thereafter. Face to face with Carl and Hudge at some stage as well, maybe. Thank you very much indeed.